Hi, and welcome to Brew LaLa. This is my new beer show live from my studio in Baltimore, Maryland. It's really the attic of my house with some signage. I'm your host, Amethyst, aka the Beerdashian. Follow me on Instagram. What's a Beerdashian, you ask? Sometimes I ask myself that. I've chosen the name Brew LaLa for this show because I want it to be a little flirty, a little fun, definitely casual, and short. Well, number one, it's going to be short. Definitely female forward. Doesn't mean we're not going to have some boys on, but we're going to feature Dr. Judy Neff. She is our head brewer at Checker Spot. She's always going to step in each episode and give us some fun beer science.
I'm Judy Neff. I'm owner and brewer here at Checker Spot Brewing. And one thing you guys might not know about me is that I have my PhD in microbiology. I got it at Hopkins here locally. All right, so let's talk about good yeast, bad yeast. What yeast do you use for beer? My favorite yeast is probably the Omega Hothead yeast. It's a Kvike yeast, so we do push the temperature on it a little bit. And you know, it gives this really cool sort of candy type flavor and complexity to the beer. Yeah, so if you're wondering where you can find yeast that is good yeast for for brewing, you know, places like Maryland Homebrew is a great place to find, you know, a wide variety of different yeasts from different companies. You know, each company that grows their yeast, it's all just a little bit different, and everyone has their own sort of unique flavors.
Look at me. I'm so fancy.
You're really just experimenting with a bunch of these different kinds. You'll really find all these really cool new flavors. Thanks for hanging out. See you later.
You know, Prey from Brewed in Baltimore is a beer historian out of Maryland. She's going to come in and educate us on some beer history.
So the great thing about beer is when you look at beer historically, it was vital. It was vital to the colonists that settled in America. Why? Well, pretty much because the colonists that were coming from Europe thought that water was contaminated, so you couldn't drink it. But you could make beer, and through the process of making beer, it was boiled, it was fermented, and the contaminants were not a problem. And that's because water was contaminated. So colonists would drink beer and cider throughout the day, pretty low in alcohol. But they also believed a couple of things. They thought that beer was actually very, very good for you. They thought that it could cure scurvy. Well, the funny fact, hops have vitamin C. I think they're onto something. The other thing is they thought that beer could help with humors. Well, if you don't know what humors are, that's arthritis. And recent medical research has actually told us that beer is good for people that have rheumatoid arthritis. It mitigates the symptoms. These colonists were pretty smart, but they also thought that beer could cure hysteria. We'll just leave that one right there. But in Maryland, beer was so vital to the colonists that when they were constructing new buildings, half a barrel of beer was given to the carpenters for every single beam that was placed.
I hope to do some interviews with some people, but not your traditional how'd you start a brewery. We'll get some fun kind of a girl on the streets information out of them. Love to hear what kind of content you guys want to have. I've got my own opinions, and because I'm not an expert, I enjoy what I like. I want to know what you like.